Japan, without doubt a personal favourite country of mine. Here is me in Japan. There are so many things unique to Japan that the land could be known for. The land of sushi, the land of video games and anime, the land of... oh honey toast, I miss you. But instead, it is known as the land of the rising sun, which isn't unique to Japan. So why out of every country in the world where the sun rises is Japan the land of this phenomenon? Because that is quite literally its name. At least to the Japanese. The word Japan is an exonym, which means its name in English is not the same in its native tongue. Another example of this is how we in English call this country Germany, while the natives of this country call it Deutschland. This means the name Japan in Japan is only really used for tourism reasons. So what do the Japanese call Japan? Well, they call it this in kanji, which can be pronounced in one of two ways, Nippon or Nihon. For the rest of this video I will be using Nihon. These two kanji characters break down to the two syllables of Nihon, Ni and Hon. Ni translates to sun and Hon translates to root or origin, meaning when the two are put together they translate to sun's origin, which the West has adapted to land of the rising sun. Okay, so I haven't answered the question yet. I've explained that in kanji Japan's called the land of the rising sun, but not why. Japan gets this name from their neighbours, China. Ancient China for its time was a hugely advanced civilization, pioneering so much while Japan was in its infancy, meaning China and its culture had a huge influence on Japan. In fact, the earliest known mention of Japan in history is from the Book of Han, a book of Chinese history from 111 CE. In this book we find out the first ever recorded name of Japan, Wa. The origins of this name for Japan remain unclear, but ideas of its origins come from the Chinese character for the name that can imply a variety of things. An early Chinese dictionary defines the character as meaning submissive and obedient. There's even a second etymology of the name meaning dwarf and pygmy. It's safe to say that the Japanese people were not too fond of this name. They even changed the character from what it was to this, which means harmony, peace, balance, which let's face it is much nicer than submissive dwarf. But hey, no offence if you like that. Other names for Japan used internally within the country grew in popularity too, one of these names being Yamato, a name for one Japanese clan that grew in power and eventually became synonymous with the whole country. The coining of the name Nihon, however, is accredited to the Prince Regent of Japan, Shotoku. When writing a letter in 607 CE to the Sui dynasty, a dynasty in China at the time, he signed it as the Son of Heaven in the land where the sun rises, to the Son of Heaven in the land where the sun sets. FYI, Son of Heaven is a term used for Chinese emperors, so Prince Shotoku calling himself this didn't make the Chinese very happy. How the Japanese finally shook off Wa for Nihon, however, comes from two different stories. Story number one revolves around a Japanese envoy to China in the 7th century disliking the name of the country and changing it. Story number two states that Chinese Empress Wu in the 8th century ordered that the Japanese envoy change their name. Whatever way it got the name out of these two ideas, the reason why Japan is the land of the rising sun is certain. Japan, relative to China, is in the east. And what else happens in the east? The sun rises, making Japan, first to the Chinese and now for the rest of us, the land of the rising sun. While researching for this video, two things really struck me. 1. Man, the Japanese language is confusing. Kudos to everyone who knows it, native or not. And 2. How on earth does a country called Nihon become known as Japan to the English speaking world? Well, that's a question for another video. Maybe.